All right, Paul, we're in Medellin, Colombia.
Yes, sir.
And it's been first off, you trained us so that we could go out and train people. And a lot of people are thinking, because I'm not a pastor, I'm not a preacher. I own a hockey magazine. I work for a major Star Tribune. And here I am in Medellin, and God is using me to equip people because you equip me. I'd like to just go into that really quick, and then we'll talk about the results. Tell me, when you set up a team, let's look at a quick little version of that.
Well, what's happening here, I was praying a year ago, I was like, God, there needs to be a lot more people in the body of Christ that are training churches in healing ministry and evangelism and so forth. And so God answered my prayer in unusual ways. Whole long story to it all, I don't have time to get into it all. But I had a team in Ecuador in July, and we were in little villages and just trained the locals there in healing and evangelism. I mean, these are churches of 10, 20, 30 people. Half the people, over half are illiterate, way off the beaten path. And there's like 225 healed and 175 saved, and I don't know, like 70 Bible studies started or something as a result. Sometimes it's easier to create home groups out of the new believers than to try to integrate them into existing churches. And so we did that, and I was like, well, this was cool. All the gringos on the team, they all learned how to do all these different components. And I was like, I want to do this on a lot bigger scale, where instead of training one church a day, we trained a whole bunch more. And so that's what happened in November. I had a team then in Northern Colombia, and we had like 1,400 healings and like 350 saved and like 110 Bible studies started. And we did a couple days in Ecuador too. And I was like, okay, that's a lot more fruitful. Everybody on the team trained and activated churches and healing. One of the girls, she's on our team right now, her name's Vivi. That was her first, I said, who wants to do the healing service tonight? First night, she's like, I want to. Yeah, 28-year-old girl from Bogota, and church of about 100 people, gets them praying for each other, and 52 healings happen, and a deaf ear pops open, and all sorts of stuff as she trains the church in her first ever healing meeting. And I was probably even happier than she was, because now we're getting multiplication. And I was like, I think this is fairly transferable. In fact, when you look at the Bible, in the eyes of Jesus, healing ministry was one of the most transferable things. That's why he's transferring to the 12 in Luke 9, to 72 in Luke 10, and later to every single believer with the Great Commission. Like, it's very transferable. And it doesn't tend to work so well on our own plugging through and trying to get the answers, but God made us that we grow from each other, right? Like, that's why you see in the Bible, like, David killed Goliath. The other 5 people that you see recording seeing a giant get killed were David's buddies that hung out with him. There's something very transferable when somebody has a breakthrough and then you receive from them. I mean, I got what I received by being at Bethel. There's no way I'd be doing this had I not learned from Bill Johnson and some people who were seeing this happen as well. And so we took the first day of this trip, and I just trained you guys on how to activate churches in healing ministry. Never mind the fact that some of the people on the trip said, I haven't seen so much breakthrough with healing. That doesn't matter. All right, we'll teach you. And in the process of you learning how to train them, you're going to learn yourself. And so everybody on the team, I think everybody's done healing services at this point in the trip. Everybody's been very successful. I looked at the numbers that you had from last Sunday, and this person went to that church and 35 healings happened. That person went to this church and 22 healings happened. And this person went to that church and 12 healings happened, or whatever.
There were no shutouts.
No, definitely not.
There were no shutouts.
And there was, people are seeing God move powerfully by training and activating others. And actually, that's really kingdom, right? Like, it's given on to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. And we use that as an offering verse. But the reality is, that's not really just meant as that. Like, the breakthrough that you want to receive, give that away from others, and that's the way you receive more. Like, human mentality is, I don't want to give away what I have because what if there isn't enough for me?
Right.
But that's the exact opposite of how Jesus created his upside down kingdom from how Americans think. And so I want to do what he's saying to do, and not like what is common in whatever culture that I'm in.